Coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you've just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Cowboys, y'all, out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
And we got a special show for you guys this week. Thank you, Philip Mullins, for joining.
What's up?
Get to see you got Lambo back on the screen again, and he'll be up for a full episode. Should be pretty quick this week because it's a bye week. And DJ Dog already kind of jumped the gun on what we're talking about tonight. So we want to do things a little bit different this week. We've been talking extensively every week about the games. So this week we thought we'd give out some awards because this team has been doing so well and we got so many players to talk about and all the accomplishments they've done. So we just want to do some bye-week awards to just highlight several players at this stage of the season. And then afterwards, we'll recap our picks, our game predictions for the season that we did before the season started and see if our mind has changed about any games up to this point. So, Lambo, how you feeling tonight?
I'm getting better. Just coughing a little bit of remaining stuff up, but almost healed up. Feeling better. Yeah. For sure. And it's easy to feel a lot better after the way that game ended on Sunday. That made me feel a lot better.
Yeah. I'm sure it made you feel sick while it was going on, though, because I know we all were.
Yeah. I was already yelling and cussing because I thought refs done cost us the game when we didn't get Dak's third down goal line touchdown. And then the fumble, I thought that was it. I was like, man, they're gonna take this one from us. Mm-hmm. But I was behind because I had to make a store run, so I paused the TV. So I was way behind, so I wasn't gonna look at my phone. Yeah. And it was overtime. We had just got the ball, and I looked down, my phone's ringing, and it was my grandma. And I was
had to ask the grandma's call.
I was like, if she's calling, we won. I picked up and she's like, Brad. And I was like, wait, I ain't seen it yet. I'm behind. And then she said, oh, you ain't seen it yet? And then right when she said that, he threw it up to Lamb. And I was just like, I started going crazy. I was like, I knew if he was calling that we won because she wouldn't be calling if we lost. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, Jack, Mika, thank you. Just recapping, Rika had a great show tonight with Dallas Cowboys Uncensored, Moving the Chains. She had the OC, the co-host with Boss Cowboy on the show. And what Jack Meeker's talking about, if you guys, I know you all follow Boss Cowboy, him and OC have been kind of having this campaign to get the best 5 players on the field and move Collins, the guard. And what Jack Meeker's talking about is there's no guarantee, in my opinion, that Collins is the best guard.
Yeah.
Because when he played guard, he was our worst lineman. And I know people want to have revisionist history and they want to glorify him because of that big play against Seattle. Mm-hmm. But for somebody who watches the offensive line, remember we had Doug Free on that team. Lyle Collins was our worst guard, our worst lineman at that point. And that's not saying he was terrible, but he was our worst lineman at guard. And when he moved to tackle, he had 1.5 very good years. So that's kind of what Jack was talking about. Personally, I would be okay if they kept him as a backup. I wouldn't necessarily move him to guard.
Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting to see. That'd be something. Yeah. And come back and be a backup. But I could see it.
Yeah, offensive line is all about continuity. And whether or not you think Steele is a better player, if he's looking good with the lineup that's out there right now, sometimes putting a better player out there doesn't make the line better because you mess up that consistency and that rhythm that they have. And offensive line is all about continuity. It's like a hand. You make a fist.
What kind of contract we got Steele under right now? Do you know it? by chance? Off
Yeah,
the top?
Steele signed a 5-year, $50 million deal. So,
He did? Terrence Steele?
yeah, he signed an extension, a $50 million extension.
I didn't know.
And he signed that in 2018, I believe.
Are you talking about Collins?
Oh, yeah, Collins, my
I was
fault.
like, when did we sign
No,
Steele to
sorry.
50 million?
Collins signed a 5-year extension in 2019.
That's
So for the next 3 years, I believe, we have Collins under contract at $10 million a year, which if he's a borderline Pro Bowl tackle, that's a steal.
yeah.
No pun intended.
But if Steele, is he? I don't know.
As an undrafted free agent, Steele is on a league minimum deal, which is probably paying him $340,000 a year.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind going cheaper at the position if he can perform at the same level as Collins.
And because he was an undrafted free agent, we only have him for under a 4-year contract, and he's already in year 2.
Yeah.
So next year, there may be some decisions that have to be made about Tyron Steele.
Exactly.
Yep. And thank you, William Coulter. The line is a team, not individual people. Just because you think one guy is better than another doesn't necessarily say that the unit as a whole will play better. So yeah, William, thank you for joining. Jack Meeker, DJ Dog, thank you for tuning in. I've seen you jumping around a couple shows tonight, so I'm glad you hadn't got burned out from Cowboys talk so far. Make sure you guys stay in the comments with us. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you like this and also make sure you share it. I was trying to share it to a few pages before we really kick it off. But guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you share it as well. So yeah, like I was saying, tonight we want to do something different. We just wanted to recognize a couple of players just for what they've done so far this year. So Lambo and I came up with our list, and I didn't think I posted this, but DJ Dog pretty much has. Did I post the actual categories, Lambo?
I didn't think so, but he had to have because he has the exact list.
I don't think I posted the list. So DJ Dog,
there's no way.
You must be on the same wavelength with me and Lambo.
There's no way because he hit it spot on. Every category,
right? Every one of them. So yeah, if you guys in the comments on YouTube, you pretty much see the format we're doing tonight. So if you guys want to follow DJ Dog's lead and give us your bye-week awards, tonight we're doing best free agent pickup, best draft pick, most improved player, best offensive player, best defensive player, and overall team MVP. Now, we have a caveat. You can't use one player more than once. So that made it pretty difficult for Lambo and I because we could have put Dak in 2 or 3 categories. We could have put Micah in a couple of categories. We could have put Zeke in a couple of categories. So kind of narrowing it down made it difficult. But Lambo and I each came up with our own list, and we're about to go through them right now. So, yeah, DJ Dog, I don't think I posted this. I guess great minds do think alike. All right, Lambo, let's start this thing off. And first, we'll do the best free agent pickup. So, as you guys know, just kind of starting off beginning of the year, team made a lot of free agent moves, and us as Cowboy fans were questioning them quite a bit. But so far, a lot of those guys have really paid off. I mean, we got J-Ron Curse, who's really stepped up. We got Watkins, Carlos Watkins, who stepped in and been a great nose tackle for us, along with Brent Urban, kind of playing across the line. Malik Collins is starting to come into his own. Keanu Neal is pretty much helped push Jalen off the team. DeMonte KZ, outside of that one play on Sunday, has been very solid for us and made several plays for us.
Is he gonna get suspended, do you think?
He probably won't get suspended this season because they have ways of pushing the trial back.
Yeah.
The league can't really do anything unless they penalize him or something like that. So they'll probably table it off to the offseason, then he'll possibly get a suspension first of next year. All right, I see we got Jeff joining us. So thank you for joining, Jeff. Mark Cantor, thank you for tuning in also. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe, which most of you already have. But more importantly, make sure you share. We want to get a lot of viewers in here, and your feedback fuels the Cowboy Zone. All right, Lambo, we'll start with you first. So let the people know who your best free agent award goes to.
I feel like it's the guy that you been all about since day one, and Tyrone Curse. You had a lot of great things to say about him the moment we first picked him up. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know much about him, honestly, until you kind of brought the knowledge to all of us on a few of those first episodes when he joined the team. He's just really stepped in since Wilson was out, and you pretty much see him on the TV screen, I feel like, and damn near every defensive play, he seems to be there or around the ball or making a play in the backfield, really stepping up in the run game. It's just, made a big difference. He just seems to show up, and definitely the guy that, they found a way to keep him, they're going to find a way to keep him on the field as this season progresses, even with Wilson, getting in there.
Yeah. Well, Lambo, you pretty much took all the words out of my mouth. I got the same guy you chose, Tyrone Curse. Jack Meeker, just like he said, he's been a vocal leader as well as an incredible player. I see Jeff has it between Curse and Neal. And good question, Mark Cantor. Could Quinn be in consideration for that? I think he can be. He was a free agent coach, so technically he is a free agent.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was instrumental in bringing this guy in. And that was kind of going to lead into what I was going to say, into addition to what Lambo said. Quinn had a type that he liked, and we talked about this in the draft. People didn't agree with the free agency pick. They didn't agree with some of the draft picks. But Quinn knew what he wanted. And Tyrone Curse is a perfect fit for what he wanted in terms of a big physical safety who can blitz, who can run defend, who can cover in the slot, and can cover at safety. So, yeah, Tyrone Curse has been more than what we could have ever asked for. Our biggest problem has been covering tight ends and run support. He's helped tremendously in both of those because our run defense didn't look good on Sunday. And Tyrone Curse came in and started playing close to the line and helped quite a bit on that right side. And Mendoza said he wanted to say Quinn also. And we want to keep it players too. I believe this is Charlie. Thank you for joining us, Charlie. Great show tonight, by the way, with the OC. We didn't do a coach category. So DJ Dog put Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn as best new coach. All right, Lambo, let's go to our next category, which is best draft pick. So we had a lot of good draft picks this year. Several of them have been contributing, particularly on the defensive side. Also stepped up quite a bit with Gallimore and Hill both being injured. And Micah Parsons has kind of been a Swiss Army knife, playing defensive end, outside linebacker, inside linebacker. That's pretty much all the rookies we got that have been contributing in extended capacity. So it's pretty much 50-50 on that one. So Lambo, who do you have as our best draft pick so far?
I have to go with Micah Parsons just because his versatility and what he's been able to do when we've needed help at end, being able to make the move, just being able to come right in and do so much as a young guy. Osa was a close second. He's also a close second right behind him in pressures, and he's been amazing.
Yeah.
Osa is a guy that would have been worthy of a late first rounder with the way he's playing, or a mid-late first round pick. He's a absolute beast. Hopefully we can say these same type of things about Boss Man.
Yeah.
But that's to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
Osa's been so good, but I still gotta go with Parsons just because the impact he's been able to make it in multiple positions where we need him, and being able to come right in and just make an impact at multiple spots.
Yeah. I see the comments is pretty much going Osa as well. It was close because you talk about Parsons, like you said, his versatility for a guy to come in and give you quality snaps at defensive end, and then pretty much come back the next 2 games and play 95% of the snaps at linebacker. He's been pretty valuable to this defense, and he made it possible for us to pretty much ship Jalen out. But I had to go with the rest of the people, and I went with Osa. Talking about versatility, he's played 3-5. He's played some base end. He's probably been our best run defender so far. Him and Parsons are almost similar in sacks and pressures.
Yeah.
So considering Osa's a defensive tackle and Parsons has played some defensive end, Osa's stats doing that are a little bit more impressive. And on top of that, you talk about the need. If Osa didn't step up the way he did, I don't know what we would do with 3-Tech right now. So the fact that he's giving you quality reps at a position that was decimated before the season started, that just makes that pick even more valuable, that he was able to step up.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like where was it at? I think it was like William said.
Yeah.
The value of the pick being in the third round too. So
yeah, you got a guy in the third round who may be a top 5 rookie so far in the league. But I mean, the fact that it's so close, like Jeff said, with both of them, that just tells you how great of a draft this has been so far.
Yeah, and we ain't even got into Mr. Cox.
Right, we haven't gotten to Cox. We haven't seen Boss Man yet.
We still don't know what we got in Nashawn Wright, which is possible.
Wright hasn't smelled the field. But I say this: Nashawn Wright looks good on special teams. Him and Cox both look really good on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
People say Cox can't tackle. Watch him on special teams. He is a hawk out there. So a lot of good things showing there. Ghostin came back. We talked about this quite a bit. 3 weeks. I just saw Charlie's comment.
Oh yeah, Ghostin, man. He's looked pretty decent, man.
No offseason, coming in, playing 60% of the snaps. Pretty much playing all the snaps that D-Law would have played. And Ghostin's coming in again with no offseason. And he's playing multiple positions. Like he's playing left end, right end, 3-Tech, outside linebacker. He's covering the flat. He's carrying tight ends. And this is a defensive end with no offseason coming in doing all that. So the arrow's pointing up for all of our rookies. And then we got to talk about Bohanna. Bohanna's giving you quality snaps, even though, in my opinion, he's still kind of looking lost and lacking out there. We haven't seen Semi Fihoko yet.
Yeah.
This draft could really turn into something special.
Definitely.
And I forgot about Josh Ball as well. Josh Ball just came off IR.
Yeah. I forgot all about that dude, man.
Yeah. We talk about there are discussions about putting the best 5 out there.
He could be one of those.
He could be one of those.
We're talking about a guy that would have been probably an early mid-second round pick if not for the off the field stuff. So
I don't want to start a hot take topic, but when you look at Lyle Collins, and I put this in the chat with Charlie and them today, and you, Lambo, Lyle Collins is the perfect combination of youth, contract, and age, and talent. We could possibly get a first-round pick for Lyle Collins if we were to trade him.
That would be nice to have 2 of those next year.
I mean, look at Orlando Brown. Didn't he go for like 2 first picks and another pick?
Something like that.
Then you look at what's the kid from Miami that got traded to Houston?
Tunsil.
Tunsil went for 3 first-round picks. So you telling me these tackles can go for 2 or 3 first-round picks, and we couldn't possibly get a first rounder for Collins?
That's something to think about for
Second
real.
rounder? Yeah. I mean, if Steele is your future and you got Josh Ball and he shows you something in practice, that may be a discussion that could be had. It might be too soon to have it this year because Collins may not be able to play enough to really show his worth, but in the offseason, that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah. I would love to have 2 first-round picks next year.
Good point, Eric Berger.
Yeah.
O'Brien traded the best receiver in NFL for a second-round pick.
That's right.
You're right. We can't really trust his judge.
And David Johnson.
Mm-hmm. And David Johnson, right.
Like
but then he turned around and traded for
Brandon Cooks, right? Or no,
Brandon Cooks and
got
Jeremy
freaking
Tunsil.
Picked up Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Did some funky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Missed that franchise all up.
Yeah, I missed that part about him saying that could happen, but I kind of disagree with him on moving him to guard, but I definitely agree with this one. Collins has value. And DJ Dog said, his contracts makes trading him possible. He's a right tackle. Right tackles have value in this league, though, especially if you get a guy who's a top one, who's only 27, I think.
Hell, Jeremy Parnell got paid at right tackle.
Good point, Lambo. Jeremy Parnell.
Average.
Collins might
player.
be making less than Jeremy Parnell. And you can get him for a first or a second and solidify your line for the next 7-8 years. But yeah, Eric Berger said, yeah, a first is the floor. Yeah, awful trade. Mm-hmm. And good point, Eric Berger. Tua does need a right tackle, being a lefty. But Tua may be on his way to the football team soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a very talented right tackle. And what's the kid's name from Texas? They just drafted one of my Sam Cosmi. They just drafted Sam Cosmi, so they may be good if he goes to Washington. But yeah, definitely something to think about. Hell, I don't even know if Miami has any draft capital to make a trade for Collins, though.
I seen another thing recently right before the show that said that a lot of this was false rumors about the trade talks. So it'll be interesting to see something actually happens.
Yeah, it's nowhere near done, Jack. I think it's just rumors right now. But it does make sense, though, because Miami doesn't have any draft capital to make a deal like that happen. So it's going to take a couple of firsts, which I don't think they have. So it may take them bringing a team like Washington into the deal where they just trade off Tua and Tua sends whatever compensation they would give Miami for Tua to Houston, which Tua should draw at least one first rounder, even as young and inexperienced as he is. But yeah, I think it would be a combination, Jack, between Houston shipping out some first and Miami shipping out some first and second to make the deal happen. And that's true, William Coulter. They could ship out Xavier Howard as part of the package. You never know. They could put some stuff together to make it happen, especially if they add another trade partner like the football team. All right, Lambo. So we just talked about the best draft picks, and we both kind of decided they were defensive players. So now let's talk about the best defensive player so far. Again, got a lot of options. Of course, Diggs is kind of the standout guy with all the interceptions, but you got Randy Gregory, who is on pace for 12 or 13 sacks right now, getting a ton of pressures. We talk about Micah Parsons' versatility, playing a lot of positions. Then you talk about J-Ron Curse giving you quality snaps. Osa's been playing very well in terms of pressures. So it's a lot of options out there, but I think there can only be one. So Lambo, who you got best defensive player so far?
Trayvon Diggs. I mean, he could possibly be defensive player of the year in the entire NFL. So, yeah, it's not close right now. 7 interceptions. 7 interceptions.
That's ridiculous.
In 6 games and 2 touchdowns, 2 pick sixes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's got to be Diggs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's changed the entire outlook of this defense. Secondary was one of our biggest weaknesses. Now it's very serviceable. Yeah, I can imagine if we get quality play out the other side.
Exactly. See, we got a couple people saying Randy Gregory. I mean, Randy Gregory's a good option too. I mean, he may be our.
He's important for sure.
He's very important, and he's probably the guy that stirs the drink for the defensive line when it comes to pass rush, because we finally have a guy that teams have to game plan for in terms of third down instead of just kind of playing everybody man to man. But Eric Berger says it's not even close. Jack Meeker says Randy Gregory.
Man, like what Diggs is doing is like extremely rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen people come out and be on pace for 12, 13 sacks and get a lot of pressures.
Yep. It's
not very often in the history of this league that someone's got 2 pick sixes and 7 interceptions in 6 games. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, he has all pro stats right now in week 7.
He could stop right now and he's all pro.
Yeah, he's all pro. No
First
question.
team. He's already got I mean, when Stephon Gilmore won defensive player of the year, I mean, his Trayvon Diggs stat outlook is already looking better than just about that full season. So, hey, Raka.
Yeah, there's definitely not a wrong answer. And that's kind of the point we want to make tonight, Mendoza. We got a lot of talented guys, and every time we talk about an award, there are legitimate several guys you can choose. It's not like this is the obvious choice. Now, for this one, Diggs may be the obvious choice just because what he's doing is unreal. But Randy Gregory makes the conversation legitimate.
I'll tell you one thing. They need to start game planning for how they are going to extend him in year 3.
Yes.
Because I don't think he plays year 4 without an extension. If
There's
he's still,
no way. Yeah,
if he's still balling. So you gotta be game planning. You got to be game planning how you're going to extend him after year 3. Start working contracts out, figuring out who you're going to move on from, things like that. But they better be taking it serious, because I don't want to see them play around with the whole Diggs situation. We've been needing a QB or CB1 for a while.
Yep, and just like you said, I think this caught the front office by surprise, that how good he's playing. And by the time we get to 2022, that cornerback contract may be $23 million.
Yeah.
And rising.
Yep.
So they have to make a move as soon as possible. And he's not a first-round pick, so you only get him for 4 years. So you don't get to play around with that 5th-year option.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And Mendoza, I'm going to be honest, I like what me and Marcus was talking about the other day. I could see Dalton Schultz being the franchise tag next year. If you think about it, I mean, he's a top 3 tight end in the league this year right now. It's quietly, very quietly, is a top 3 tight end. And like when you crunch the numbers, the franchise tag for him would be around like what, 10?
If that much, yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah.
And if you extend him next year, it's going to be more than that.
At least.
So And
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Kelsey's contract, you're looking at 14. So you're looking minimum 13 and a half for his contract.
yeah,
I know a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I don't think Gregory is going to be as expensive as people think. He'll be 29 years old. I talked about this with Charlie Sunday night after the game. He'll be 29 years old during the season. He's only really played 2 full seasons. His best year is 6 sacks. Those aren't break the bank stats for a defensive end. And I didn't get to bring this one up, but think about this guy. How'd I just lose his name? Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden came out the same draft year as Randy Gregory. Very similar height, weight, speed.
from Missouri.
Yeah. Marcus Golden has been a perennial 4 or 5 sack guy. 2 years ago, he had a 10 sack season. You know how much his contract was? Borderline league minimum. Because nobody trusted what they saw, because he didn't have a lot of tape to show that he could do it consistently, and plus his age. Now, I'm not saying Randy Gregory will be near league minimum, but I would be shocked if the deal is more than $10 million. And on top of that, I really think, I know we say this a lot, I think he would give a hometown discount because of everything he's gone through with the team and the city.
Yeah, good points.
But yeah, I'm not giving Randy Gregory a $19 million tag. I just can't do it.
I'm with you.
I would have to just watch him watch him walk or see what happens. And yeah, I just saw Riker coming in. Thank you for joining us, Riker. Great show, by the way. I didn't get to catch the whole thing, so I'll definitely be going back and watching the replay. Yeah, and that's a testament to Randy Gregory. We finally got a guy that teams have to kind of give a little bit extra attention to.
I can't wait till D-Law's back. I want to see. Oh man, when we're rolling.
I know.
Gallimore's back, D-Law back. That's gonna be fun.
One thing I'm hoping to see with D-Law, and I talked about this before, I gotta see them play him in multiple positions. I get so sick of seeing J.J. Watt or T.J. Watt playing all across the defense. J.J. Watt too, playing all across the line.
I get sick of seeing T.J. Watt do anything because
Right.
I'm still mad that we didn't pick him.
And then I get sick of seeing Aaron Donald playing all 4 positions. Like if D-Law's the great player we all think he is, why do we just play him in one spot? And why do we only play him 65% of the snaps? Those two things don't make sense to me. So hopefully Quinn is going to change that narrative. And we see him play more positions and play more snaps. And Eric Berger talking about Dalton Schultz. He's the benefactor of a top running game, top wide receiver core, top QB. He isn't special. I definitely don't think he's special, but the stats are the stats. If you could tell me with 100% certainty that Jarwin could come in and do what Schultz is doing, I'd be right there with you.
I don't think he can block as well either.
Yeah, I agree with that one. They look real good in that 12 personnel, though. I was concerned about breaking them up.
Yeah.
So yeah, Charlie did a great show with the OC tonight from Boss Cowboy. Talking a lot of O-line, stuff like that. You guys get a chance, make sure you go check that out. Now, you know Jerry and Steven are the masters of this type of stuff, Eric Berger. But you know that's probably coming. Offering some job post-retirement, because his contract, I mean, his career is closer to the end than it is the beginning, regardless of how many years he's played so far. But yeah, we do have 2 rookies that play across the line. And Jack Meeker brings up this point. Well, a lot of people disagree with you, Jack, but I agree with you. If you've got a guy like Chauncey Golston who's playing 60% of the snaps, he's showing that he's good against the run, and he's showing you versatility. Even though there's going to be a drop-off between him and Lawrence, is the drop-off worth the difference between a $500,000 contract and a $24 million contract? D-Law's a lot better than Golston. I don't know if he's $24 million better than Golston.
Especially if you're looking, like we talked about, at Diggs' extension down the road.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be some money cut somewhere. And if you need a quick $20 million, there's your first place to hit.
Get that first round pick for Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a new rusher, edge rusher. Get you a tackle, left tackle, and an edge rusher.
Oh, let me ask you this, Lambo. Hypothetically, we're going to the offseason, and we're staring at D-Law's contract. If you open the phone lines up, what kind of offer you think you can get? You think he can get? You think he can get 2 first? You think the talent is worth 2 first outside the league, outside the Cowboys? And guys, let me know in the comments too.
I don't know about 2 first.
You think 1 first? A first and another piece, a first and a third. You think we can get that?
Man, possibly. I think we could definitely get a first.
Okay.
Maybe a first and a fourth.
We're talking about D-Law right now, Eric. What do you think realistically, if we were to go into the offseason and we were trying to trim some money, instead of cutting him, what do you think we can get in terms of a draft pick? Lamar, thank you for joining us. You say a second. Let me look at his contract real quick.
There's always those teams that got way too much cap space and ain't got no quarterback yet.
Yep.
And I mean, I could see somebody doing it. I mean, we've seen the team trade for freaking Brock Osweiler. Was it Brock Osweiler?
Yeah.
Just and take on his monster contract just so they could get a pick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people do crazy things when they got a lot of cap space.
That's true.
And he would give a good return to a team that needs a edge rusher and has a ton of cap space. It'd have to be a team that ain't got a quarterback yet.
I'm looking at D-Law's contract right now. If he stays in Dallas because of signing bonuses and stuff like that, his cap hit will be $27 million next year. But if we were to trade him, we would save $8 million, and his cap hit to the team he went to would be $19 million. So if his cap hit was $19 million and $21 million, you still thinking first and a third? You think teams may take a look at that and say, you know what, Dallas might be desperate to get rid of him. We can probably get him for cheaper.
Possibly. Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I don't think D-Law was on the same level as Khalil Mack, but didn't Chicago give up 2 firsts for Khalil Mack after he signed a big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Similar situation.
There's probably, I'm trying to think of what teams out there.
But then we got to look at this.
Got a missing piece, and he could be that missing piece, and that's
D-Law's had 2 major injuries in the past 3 years too.
That's gonna hurt too, for sure. Oh man.
This is off-season talk, so this is something we'll get into.
Probably a first alone, like Charlie said, or even a couple 2s or a 2 and a 3.
But I'm with you. I would probably look at what team. And good point, Eric. You're not getting Khalil Mack. You're not getting a perennial 13 sack guy. You're getting a run stopping DN. Good point.
I'm not gonna lie. If it's saving us money to have some extra money for a future Diggs contract, Jack, I would honestly be cool with taking the 2 and the 4.
If you think you're going to cut him anyway.
Yeah. If you got it if you're planning on doing it anyway, that only makes sense.
Yeah.
I would love to stock up on some picks, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go into this draft with a lot of day 1 and day 2 picks. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. Well, this isn't a very strong draft, though. So I don't know how much you want to do that.
Well, I'm glad it's not a very strong draft because Philly,
That's true.
I do not like what they got going on over there with the draft picks.
But you know Philly's going to take the kid from Ohio State, another small, fast receiver, lump them in with the other 20 small, fast receivers they have,
Yeah.
and then you'll never hear from them again. So I'm not concerned about Philly in their first-round picks. And then they'll probably take some quarterback who should have been a third-rounder, like the kid from North Carolina, Sam what's his last name? You guys will know it. They'll take a kid like that and let them compete with Hurts, and both of them be garbage. So, yeah. I love it that Philly has multiple picks. And Charlie says Chicago traded for him, then signed him. And Oakland, you're right. I forgot about that. That's the reason they traded him, because they couldn't get a deal because they couldn't guarantee his contract because they didn't have enough money to put in escrow.
Best center at 32. I like the sound of that, Jack.
Definitely can. And Riker makes a good point. The front office was willing to take a hit on Jalen's contract to trade him. If they want out, they may be willing to do the same with D-Law. It's a good point. Well, D-Law doesn't have any guarantees in his contract left.
Yeah, so we'll be saving.
Unlike Jalen, who contract guarantees at a certain point in time, D-Law's doesn't. So we could really take that thing up until the first game of the season.
So does Pollard get a second contract? And does Zeke still here in 2 years?
Boy, we're going to off-season talk early. Bye-week off-season. Okay. Personally, from what I know about Pollard and his family, I think he stays.
Yeah.
Pollard's family loves the Cowboys, and he grew up a Cowboys fan. And he's a very, very grounded guy.
I would like to see him stick around on a fair contract.
Yeah.
I
think if the contract is $4 million, if they can scrape up $4 million, I think he stays. I don't think his market will be huge for what some people may consider a gadget back or a scat back. I don't think he's going to get Alvin Kamara money. So I think his market is probably $6 million tops.
Yeah.
So
Memphis by Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric. Pollard grew up in Whitehaven, which is 10 minutes. It's in Memphis, but it's 10 minutes from where I live.
Parents got a barbecue spot down the road.
Yep, Pollard's Barbecue. Probably fourth best barbecue place in the city, which for Memphis, that's saying a lot. I literally watched every game he played high school and college because he was just that talented of a kid coming out. But he played wide receiver in high school. A lot of people don't really talk about that. And was a really good receiver. He didn't carry the ball until he got to Memphis.
Yeah, you seen him catch how he caught that ball with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the past game. You could just tell he had that natural ability to catch the ball.
Yeah, so William says if we're getting the 1, we're trading the 3 in return. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. What could we get for D-Law in the offseason if Ghosting keeps projecting up and Osa keeps projecting up? Talking about his haircuts, he's been saving money every way he can. Yeah, thank you, Mendoza. Sam Howell. That's going to be the guy that they overdrafted in the draft this year. And Shane Odom, thank you for joining us. Yeah, we had that conversation, Shane, but we were talking about the Washington football team being the team to trade for him. Philly would probably be a better option because, like we just said, Philly has multiple firsts next year. Philly might be able to give him 2 firsts to send to Houston.
I don't know if I would really rather have Tua over Jalen Hurts if I'm Philly.
I
feel
mean,
like you're getting the same guy, really.
As a Cowboys fan, I would love to see them blow 2 picks to get Tua.
I would love that too, because honestly, I think Hurts is a better NFL quarterback right now than Tua.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that, honestly.
And Mendoza saying he likes to see the core of the offense and keeping this group together is something he'd like to see. And Charlie, thanks for putting this in perspective for me. $6 million would put him as a top 11 running back. Running back position always kind of screws me up. I forget about how low that that market is.
That bodes even more well for us because that makes me feel, give him. I would feel comfortable giving him $4 a year.
Yeah, so I'm looking at
not at the same time as still paying Zeke, of course, but
if I'm not mistaken, a running back that's very similar to Pollard, Nyheim Hines.
Yeah,
Pollard may be a better runner than him.
Yeah, he's
but
better.
In terms of overall, just their attributes, they're similar. I think Nyheim Hines just signed a 2-year, $4 million deal, $4 million a year. So that's probably kind of the going rate for Pollard, unless he finds a way to get 1,000 yards this year, and then he may take his value up a couple 100,000 more.
Yeah, in 2 years you might see Pollard still here, and then they draft some workhorse type back in the 3rd round or something.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, because they may plan for the future. I mean, Zeke's contract is pretty much guaranteed for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So they may have to kind of think about life after Zeke and who they can pair Pollard with for the future. And Mendoza giving us the early scouting, talking about his guy Jermaine Johnson. The kid, I think you're talking about that linebacker from Georgia. Oh my God, I love that Georgia defense. I haven't watched a lot of college football this year, but I would be shocked if Georgia doesn't have 4 first-rounders. Charlie says, you trade D-Law post June 1, you save $19 million. If we don't, I don't need a first if we save that much cap space. Good point. Like I said, D-Law doesn't have he doesn't have any guarantees, so you could really kind of slow play that until the season starts, or just designate him a post June 1 cut. So if the trade market isn't very, very viable, you could always just make the cut, save the money. It's a good point.
Yeah. You could save the money on Pollard and get Tyon Evans from Tennessee. Dude is a beast. Same.
Tennessee finds a way to get those running back. And Charlie says if you pay TP $4 million, you invested in the $20 million in the running back position. But that doesn't bother me that much if the goal is to plan for life after Zeke.
Yeah, that's the only way. You have to be planning on moving on in 2 years.
Okay, I forgot he transferred to Florida State this year. Man, if he stayed at Georgia, that defense is already ridiculous. I could only imagine with him and the defensive tackle and those 2 linebackers they already got. So Shane Odom, I'll let you take this question. Talking about Michael Gallup coming back, would you try to trade him or would you keep him? Would you keep him for this year? Would you try to sign him to a deal or would you trade him?
Honestly, with the team rolling the way we are right now, I talked a lot about trading him before the season started. But with the way the team is rolling right now at this point in the season, I'd honestly like to have the depth in case Cooper were to miss time.
Yep.
Or Wilson goes down or Lamb goes down. I'd love to keep the depth first if we're gonna seriously try to make a Super Bowl run this season. I feel like it'd be important to have all the best playmakers we can have on the team and figure it out in the offseason.
All right. Let me ask you this follow-up question then. When Gallup comes back, do you put him back in the starting lineup and move Lamb back in the slot? Or do you stick with what we got and just let Gallup come off the bench?
It's a good question because
Lamb has proven he's an X.
Wilson and Lamb are going to be free agents, ain't they?
Lamb won't be. This will be Lamb's second.
Or not Lamb, Wilson and Gallup.
Gallup, yeah.
It might be. I don't know, man. I think they're going to mix them all up. I think what Wilson's been able to do, they're going to get him on the field a little bit more. I think honestly, I think they're going to be having them in and out and all kinds of crazy rotations, keeping them fresh, in and out, taking it easy on Cooper, giving him some downs off, things like that, knowing it's a long season.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. They could be looking at Wilson and Gallup both and trying to see who they're going to they could get the better value out of re-signing, possibly even.
Oh, definitely Gallup.
Based on performance and things like that, which they'll get the better value out of Wilson probably, obviously next year, but be interesting.
Wilson's at best a $3 million a year guy.
Yeah.
Nothing special. Number 3, number 4 guy.
And I probably feel comfortable with that for him, the way he's played.
Yeah.
But he can be replaced though.
Yeah. And the other thing I was looking at, we've been running a lot of 12 personnel this year. And do you really want to take Jarwin and Schultz off the field to bring Gallup in when they're both giving you so much with their run blocking together and Schultz, Jarwin opening up so much for Schultz when they're in the same end at the same time?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll use it as a blessing in disguise, giving them some rest on these long drives, keeping the receivers fresh.
Yeah, and when Noah Brown gets his opportunity, he shows flashes.
He does. But think of how it's going to wear down defenses when you have that much talent at wide receiver, and you can pull a Lamb and Cooper off or whoever off, let them get a couple snaps. You have a couple guys running a go route, tiring these cornerbacks out, and then you bringing in a Lamb on third down, the tired cornerback that just ran with somebody 50 yards down the field. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. When Brown caught that ball and turned to the field, I thought it was CeeDee Lamb, and I know Tony Romo said
they look similar. They look
very similar on that play.
Their hair hanging out the back, just about the same length. You see that 8 from one angle, and it gets confusing.
Yeah, people forget Noah Brown is 6'2", 220, but he runs a 4.5. He's athletic.
Yeah.
All right, so the show took a completely different turn.
Yep.
We still got to go through the rest of our bye week awards. We're at 53 minutes. We'll probably still be at another 20. So what do we stop off at? Was it
Trayvon Diggs? I think.
Yeah, we both had Trayvon Diggs as our defensive player of the year.
Yep.
So now, and Charlie bringing up a good point about 35% of the time 12 personnel. Yeah, Noah does have sneaky speed. He may be our second most athletic wide receiver. And that's saying a lot with a team with CeeDee Lamb on it. I won't start that conversation, but yeah, you're right, Mendoza. Height, weight, speed. He doesn't have the leaping ability, but he has everything else. And then Jack Meeker talks about we also have Sean McKeon, which they really loved in the offseason. And we may get to see him too.
Oh, God, there. Yeah.
All right, Lambo. Offensive player so far. Got a whole lot of options for this one.
Yeah.
And remember, we can't use anybody twice, so
I had to go with the easy option. option.
Let me just throw a couple names out there before you say you got. We got Dak, obviously. Best quarterback in the league right now. Got Zeke, top 3 in rushing, top 5 in touchdowns. Dalton Schultz is, I believe, our leading receiver right now.
On pace for 1,000 yards at the tight end position.
Yeah. This was his first game. He didn't have at least 6 catches for us, but he still ended up getting 5, and I think he was second in yards. You got Cooper, who's having a very quiet, good season like he always does.
42 targets, 0 drops.
42 targets, 0 drops. That's a good stat. Something we struggled with for the past 3 years. Then you got Tyron Smith playing healthy, coming back.
Third
Also
highest rated player in the league right now.
Yep. Also got Zach Martin.
First rated player in the league right now.
Healthy and playing great, like Lambo just said. Who did I miss?
CeeDee Lamb.
I said CeeDee Lamb.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. Top 5 receiver right now. Then you got Tony Pollard. It's just
what a talented offense. Goodness
right.
gracious.
And I mean, I just named like 8 guys.
It's like a Pro Bowl roster.
Right. The only guys I didn't name were the center and the guard, like literally. And
right tackle.
Wilson. I didn't name right tackle too. You're right. So I named 7 guys who could all legitimately be our offensive player of the year so far. But there could only be one. So Lambo, let the people know who you chose.
Has to be Zach Martin. As much as I considered Zeke and considered Schultz and considered Lamb and obviously considered Dak, but there's another category I got to hold for that, man. So we talked about we can only use a player for one category, not multiple. So Zach Martin, man, he's one of the top players in the entire NFL, not just on our team, but the entire NFL. He's been the highest graded player this year, highest graded offensive lineman this year.
I didn't even know that. That's a good stat.
Yeah, he just quietly, I mean, he's an offensive lineman, so, you know, they don't get the same recognition these skill players do. You don't see that. Nobody watches the game. I mean, some do. I know you do. But nobody watches the game and sits there and looks at the guard. You know, they're following the ball. And you just can't go wrong with Zach Martin, man. He's the best at his position pretty much. And he does his thing, and he's extremely important to this team. So had to go with Zach Martin.
Yeah, William Coulter and Mendoza definitely agree with you.
He's highest graded offensive player right now in NFL at 94.3 is his grade actually. Yep. 94.3. Tyrone Smith's actually at 92.6, so he's having a great year too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he definitely deserved recognition for coming back from that injury and still at this age playing at that level. So before I give mine, let's have another quick conversation, Lambo. What do we do with Tyrone Smith after this year? I mean, he's coming off another injury.
No, man.
He's still giving you top 5 tackle play.
It's so tough because as a fan base, a lot of us have been saying, trade him now. But we've been saying for like 3 years. And I was real worried about this year. And I know a lot of people were like, man, we need to get something out of him while we can, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out and 92.6 grade, killing it. He's going to be an all-pro this year.
Yep.
But you just know the injury bug in the age, everything's going to start factoring in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's time to I would love to keep him around for another year or two while finding his replacement. But, man, I don't know. If you can it's so interesting, all the possibilities of trade talks and what can we get for this guy and this guy and this guy. I mean, I like him on a team, but draft picks talk. So if someone wants to give up, what do you think? 2 firsts?
Hold on a second. Let me check something out.
How old is he now?
He's 31.
Oh, maybe not 2 firsts.
I don't know because didn't Washington
Trent Williams
trade Trent Williams for
what did Trent get? Trent got something good.
Let's check it out real quick. Washington trades Trent Williams to the Niners, and they got a 5th and a 3rd.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade him, but Trent Williams is even more injury prone than Tyron Smith.
Yeah, he's a little bit older, I believe.
I believe he is. They probably played about the same amount of time, but people forget Tyron Smith came
20.
to the league at 20.
Yeah, something.
Which is
20.
ridiculous.
Golly, what a beast.
Yeah. And don't forget this, Tyron still has 3 more years on his deal.
Yeah.
At, I believe, $13 million, which is a steal for a left tackle.
Yeah, I would, you know what? I would seriously look at getting a young tackle early in this next draft, but I would probably like to hold on to Smith for at least another 2 years.
Yeah, I would play this deal out, but I would stop restructuring.
But start looking for sure for somebody to groom behind him and have ready.
Yeah, just like Charlie said, you don't have to do anything with that deal. He's the 16th highest paid left tackle.
Yeah,
you can get out of that deal at any time. He has 0 guarantees.
I'll take missing him 4 or 5 games a year for that value.
I do too, especially if we got a guy like Josh Ball who
we can develop somebody. Yeah,
develop some more, and then you got Terrence Steele, who's showing he's developing, and getting better and better every game.
Yeah.
And Shane Oldham asked the question before I get back into mine. Why is fullback an underrated position? I wish we could use the fullback more.
I would love to see Ralston in there on some I formation from
they just signed him back.
Yeah, it's a practice squad. Yeah.
Now, didn't they say Zeke preferred not to run behind a fullback? Was that what the talk was?
You know, I didn't even catch it. If so,
because I thought he looked better running behind Keith Smith in front of him.
I know. I don't understand, man.
I thought they said that's why they let Keith Smith go, because Zeke preferred to run single back, but
maybe he gets caught up on him.
Yeah,
trying to move around.
And it's a different type of league too. Charlie talks about this all the time when it comes to like 4th and short and 3rd and short, or 4th and short particularly. When you hand the ball off to a running back, you're basically going back 3 yards to try to gain 1.
Right.
So when you put a fullback in front of them, right, you're sending them back 4 or 5 yards because you got to make room for their fullback. So now you're taking your running back.
Unless you hand the ball to the fullback.
Right. But now you're taking your running back 5 yards back to try to get to before he gets to the line of scrimmage. And a great running back would rather just read and react than follow behind a bigger, slower version of himself.
Yeah, you can always bump Schultz back there real quick.
Yeah.
Put McGovern back there again.
Yep. Just like Charlie said, use him more tight end.
I do like Nick Ralston a lot, but hard to get him on the field.
Yeah, but the Niners use their fullback as a part of their passing game, though, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And even the Ravens, I think their fullback is what, 280?
Didn't we see Zeke get put fullback this year with Pollard at tailback right behind him?
I think they did that once or twice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, they have done that a couple times, but yeah, even the Ravens, their fullback is like 280, converted defensive lineman, and they still use him in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if a fullback is not catching the ball, this is a passing league now.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is blocking for a running back, there's no space for you.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the offensive players of the year. A lot of great options. I think we all kind of know who the MVP is going to be. So for me, it was a very tough choice, but I had to give it to Zeke.
Yeah.
Number 3 in rushing yards, number 5 in touchdowns. He's contributing, making great blocks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's giving it to you all 3 phases. He's really helping Dak out a lot in terms of getting some of the pressure off of him in the passing game. His yards per carry are up. He's having a very good year. So I just want to give him some recognition. I could have gone Lamb right here, just off recency bias and the fact that Lamb plays all over the field. But I just feel like Zeke is giving the offense a little bit more right now. Somebody put a funny comment up.
Yep.
I knew Charlie would come and say this if he was in the comments. Run the damn. Never mind. But yeah, Zeke is having a very good year this year, and I just wanted to give him recognition. I was really tempted to go Schultz just because he's the leading receiver.
Yeah. Schultz, Lamb, Zeke, Martin, all those was Tyron. Tough. It was tough for me. And Tyron, yeah. True. Oh, hey, thanks for the shout out, Locks44. Somebody on YouTube said the same thing the other day, and I tried to reply to it and then I lost it and couldn't find out what video the comment was on. Man, I've been out of my Cowboy Dale zone. I gotta get back in it. Been kind of down and under. I'll get back to Dale soon. Just gotta get my mind right.
We got 6 more rivalry weeks to go into the season, so I'm pretty sure you guys will see a lot more Cowboy Dale.
Yeah.
We may get a post bye week Cowboy Dale video next week. You never know.
Yeah. Had a little it's Cowboy Dale. There's like a mood I gotta get in to pull off Cowboy Dale, and I've been kind of down and stuff like that. A little bit of struggle on my my mind. So, but I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna get back to Cowboy Dale soon.
If we could have got a Cowboy Dale video and implemented Steve Belichick in it, that would have been perfect. Have you seen Steve Belichick?
Belichick.
He's Bill Belichick's son. He's the defensive coordinator for the Patriots.
I didn't even see. Oh, the one that makes
the faces.
Dang, I didn't even think about that. That would be funny. I might have to do
about that for 2 weeks. How he reminds me of Cowboy Dale.
Yeah, you're right. That's funny. I might have to reenact him. Yeah,
that would be good.
That'd be hilarious.
You see what Charlie put?
It's been. I wonder where he was at.
Is that why you shaved, Charlie? All right, Charlie, don't take the show off the rails. Let's get back to it. All right, guys, we got 2 categories left. So for this one, we went with our most improved player from last year. Again, got a bunch of options to choose from. You got Randy Gregory. He had a solid year last year, but this year he just took it up to another level. Of course, you got Trayvon Diggs, who was just a guy pretty much last year, but we all kind of saw it. But this year, he's giving it all to you. He's really sparking. Leighton Vander Esch is not getting a lot of credit. He's making some mistakes out there, but he's healthy so far this year, and he's giving you quality snaps.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the offensive side of the ball. Penalties aside, Connor Williams is having a much better year. I didn't get a chance to talk about this about 2 weeks ago, but that game, the games against the Giants and the Eagles were probably his 2 best games I've ever seen. He had 2 very solid games against those guys, and I thought the Giants would really try to take advantage of him. Tony Pollard, you want to talk about that? He was been kind of just a relief guy, but this year he's carved out a niche for himself. I mean, he's top 10 in rushing in the league. Still one of the tops in average yards per run. Then you talk about Dalton Schultz, which is obvious. Had a good year last year. Borderline Pro Bowler this year. He's pretty much in all pro discussions at this point. So a lot of guys we could talk about here. So Lambo, let the people know most improved player since last year. Who you got?
I definitely could have said Diggs, but I had him as my best defensive player, and we're keeping it to 1 player per category. My best or most improved player is Terrence Steele. He's just came in and cleared all the worries a lot of us had. There was a lot of us that was kind of iffy on him, wasn't sure which guy was going to show up. Last year was kind of up and down. We've seen good, we've seen bad, we've seen terrible, we've seen serviceable. But this year has been really good, really good. So much so that it almost seems like Cowboys front office is hinting at the idea that they ain't even worried about how quick Collins gets back. He's been that good. So obviously for an undrafted guy and to come in and impress that much, it's he's got to be most improved player. It's a tough position to come into, especially as an undrafted free agent, and in your second year perform at the level he has against some of the pass rushers he's faced, and he would have to be my guy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options here. And Jeff, an interesting one says Zeke is most improved. I can see that because how many fumbles did Zeke have the first 7 weeks last year? Like,
was it 6 or something?
6, yeah, 6 fumbles. Yards
he didn't even crack 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yards per carry probably right at 3 at best.
He's definitely on the list. For real, yeah.
Yeah. And at this point in the season, I mean, what game did Dak go out? Week 4? Week 5?
Yeah.
So it's not like he just played the whole season without having Dak. He looked awful for 5 weeks with Dak.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in the season, you definitely could say you could make an argument for Zeke. But I'm with Lambeau. Got to give it up to Terrence Steele. He worked with the offensive line guru.
Yeah, always. It's definitely improved.
Yeah,
we've seen some tackles. We've seen some people try to roll them a little bit, and that thing's held up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely no fumbles, but yeah, Jeff, I know you're serious about it. I just made the argument for you. It's a serious conversation to have, but
yeah, it's valid.
Yeah,
he wasn't very good last year.
But Terrence Steele, a lot of people hated to see him still on the roster. But like I told you guys, teams don't give up on young, talented tackles. Yeah, and he has the traits.
And I thought Brandon Knight last year. There were times last year where I thought Brandon Knight was the guy that and now he's not even on the team.
I'm shocked by that move.
Yeah.
Like, you got a 24-year-old guy who can play guard, left tackle, right tackle, and guard.
Yeah.
And you just let him go?
Yeah, that was a big surprise. I don't know, man.
And I talked about this with Dominique and Mendoza. The first team that picked him up was the Ravens, which kind of Ravens front office. They know what they're doing. And then this past week, their left tackle gets hurt and he's out for the season. So we're going to find out if we made a mistake by cutting Brandon Knight, because more than likely he's going to be their starting tackle for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's a good run blocker too, and that kind of will fit in well with what they do there.
Eric Berger said Knight refused to report to Baltimore. I hadn't heard that. I don't know if he's joking or not. I'll have to check that out. If he did, that would be surprising, because I don't know a reason why he wouldn't report. And Shane Oldham said off the field to be killing more. Okay, it does say he did not report. He's on the did not report list. Definitely got to check that out. Why? Okay, it says personal reasons.
He's pissed off. He wants to stay in Dallas. No, I'm just kidding. He has a chance to start now. So.
I wonder what the reasons are. That's a story I definitely got to keep up with. All right, so we're down to our last bye week award. Pretty anticlimactic, because I think everybody kind of knows what direction we're going in. Last bye week award, most valuable player for this team. Again, I can make a strong case for Zeke. I can make a strong case.
Just looking at you, Marcus.
Right.
That's hilarious. I love that guy.
That guy's a walking.
It's great.
That's a good point, William. That could be the reason why Dallas let him go. Maybe they saw something in the works behind the scenes and they just got ahead of it. Eric Berger said Steve was tweaking. So yeah, we could make a serious discussion for Micah, Randy Gregory, CeeDee Lamb. He's definitely been stepping up the past couple of weeks. Zeke, you can make an argument for him. You can make an argument for Zach Martin, giving us that continuity back on the line and what he's done. Mm-hmm. But I think everybody in Cowboys Nation agrees, when you talk about most valuable player, there can only be one. Lambeau, who you got?
Dak Prescott. Duh. It's got to be Dak. Offensive player of the week, by the way. 445 passing yards, the most ever on Bill Belichick coach team. Guy's just amazing. Amazing human being. Great person. Everything on the field, off the field. He's an MVP in all aspects of life, man. The whole ask for help thing with the mental health awareness and all that. Performance on the field. Guy's on pace for 5,000 passing yards. A great man. Every single statistic. Dak is just amazing, man. Coming back from the injury and doing what he's doing. I'm hoping he wins MVP this year, man. He deserves it.
He's definitely on pace.
Been a fan before we drafted him. Love Dak.
I wonder if anybody's ever won most valuable player and comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I know one thing. If he wins MVP, he better be winning comeback player of the year.
Right. He definitely should get one of them.
Yeah.
See, I mean, those already used Dak, so you had to say Diggs for this one.
Yeah, I had to save Dak. I wanted to use Dak for two of them.
Yeah. Charlie says you can't make a case for anyone but Dak. I definitely wouldn't choose anybody else but him. And Eric Baxman says you can literally win without every other dude on the team.
Which is why pass the damn ball works, right, Charlie?
Yep.
Because obviously we couldn't run the damn ball with Andy Dalton, that's for sure. Oh man, you gotta have Dak, man. He's got to be on the field. He makes he makes the difference. He makes everything work. Because defense, if he's not on the field, you're gonna get stack boxes. The pass game ain't gonna work. Play action ain't gonna work. You got to have him on the field to scare the defense. He can beat you in multiple ways. Zeke is way better with him on the field. Everybody obviously is way better with him on the field. So
yep. All right. So Lambeau pretty much said it all. It's obvious. Everybody knows it. Dak's definitely our most valuable player so far. Pretty self-explanatory. The team wouldn't be where it is without him. If you took him off the field.
Yeah, you could take everybody on this entire roster. You can take one of them off the field, and the impact is not going to be anywhere close, not even nowhere in the same ballpark as the impact it would make to have Dak off that field.
Yeah. Yeah, Lokes, we definitely agree. Collins is getting that job back. I just think just because of the money, he's going to get a chance to get his job back. And Steele has looked good, but he hasn't just looked great to say Collins doesn't get his spot.
How do you think Steele would fare at left tackle if Tyron does have to miss a few games this season?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Steele will perform pretty well on that side too.
Yeah, Shane, we didn't really talk about it. He got a DUI. More than likely, they're gonna push whatever penalty, whatever punishment he has off into the off season. So I don't think it'll be something we'll have to deal with as a team during this season. Yeah, we could beat anybody with Dak. We can't beat anybody without him. It's a good point. DJ Dog says Dak's work ethic holds the rest of the team accountable. It's definitely true. He's the straw that stirs the drink, no question. And then William Coulter with the money talks. He pays somebody $90 million for 1 year. It's definitely got to be him. All right, so Lambeau, we're at 1:20. Do you have 10 minutes to go through the schedule real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for participating in our bye-week awards. We didn't just want to kind of talk about the same old thing in the same old way. So Lambeau and I came up with this creative way to try to give recognition to all the accomplishments that we've had so far and to just talk about how great this team has looked so far, because every category outside MVP, you could have legitimately made at least two arguments, which is something we couldn't have said in years past.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's switch things up and let's go to let's go to our picks from the off season. So in the preseason, Lambo and I made our picks for who we thought would win certain games, and we're gonna go back and rehash a couple of these because maybe based off of our play, our opinions may have changed on some of them. So Lambo, we'll let you start off first in case you have to dip out early. So, week 8, coming back from the bye, we got the Minnesota Vikings. When you originally made your picks, you had this as a win for the Vikings.
I felt like it was kind of one of those, not necessarily a trap game because I feel like maybe a trap game knowing the records now and how we've been performing. This seems like one of those type of games, like I don't know if Dalvin Cook's at full health and Cousins has been very good. They got multiple receivers that can threaten you. They're coming off a bye too, like William said. It's not that I think they're necessarily the better team, but like who said that the other day? I can't remember who said it. There's another big content creator. You gotta find the losses in here. It's not realistic. We're just gonna go and win 99%, 98% of the games. There's gonna be a couple losses throughout the season. I just feel like it could be one of those. But knowing what we know now about this team, I also wasn't expecting. I mean, I was expecting us to be pretty good, but and we're looking really, really good.
Right,
really,
you wouldn't
really
expect us to dominate.
Like we have
6 teams.
Yeah. So
You sticking with that L? Are you gonna change it?
Oh, I'm leaning. Let's see.
Sunday Night Football. Prime time.
I'm gonna change it to a W.
Okay.
I'm gonna change it to a W.
Making a change.
Broncos, I'm gonna give it W.
All right.
I think I had a W already before.
You giving us the W or the Vikings?
Us.
Oh, you had us losing this game at first.
Yeah. I meant the next one. Broncos. Okay. I believe.
So Marlo asks, do you think we can go undefeated? Stick with us, Marlo. You're about to find out what Lambo thinks. All right. So next week we're home against Denver. At that point, Jerry Jeudy should be back. They should have a healthy Teddy Bridgewater. Cortland Sutton's playing well. They've got some talented pass rushers. They've also got a very talented wide receiver. Cornerback that's familiar with a few of our guys, Patrick Surtain. So you originally had this one as a Cowboys win. You still hang your hat on that one?
Yeah, man. Jerry Jeudy, Call of Duty, big old booties. Cowboys by 20.
20? Wow. Lambo giving them a major victory. And Charlie says, I guess he's not as impressed with Minnesota's offense. He's a Cousins defender, but they have the 18th most efficient offense. Doesn't scare me. That the offense doesn't scare me, but that kid they got in slot terrifies me. And I don't know if we got an answer for him. But I'll go through my picks in a few minutes.
I got a win versus the Falcons.
Okay, no commentary needed, huh?
Nah, they're just a little too sloppy still.
Okay.
Right? They've been a little sloppy this year. I mean, they got some playmakers.
They do.
But I just don't think they got the overall talent to stick with us.
So the big matchup now, I don't know when they can start flexing games to Sunday Night Football, but if there's any game that's a flex candidate, it would be this one at Kansas City. So we'll assume it stays at 3:00 on Fox.
Yeah.
But if there's a flex chance, this one's going to Sunday night.
I'm gonna.
Like I said, we tie the Falcons. That's a shot at Eric.
I think I had this as an L, but I'm
You did have it. You had us a Chiefs loss. We both did. I mean, a Chiefs win. We both did.
I'm gonna stick with that, but I will say I think it's gonna be a very close game. I know that they haven't been performing so well, but I really think that's gonna turn around.
Okay.
I think they're gonna go on a big streak soon. Get going.
Yeah. Charlie
And
says they can flex week 11. I would have to check the schedule, but there's no way there's a game bigger than this one.
It's tough.
Sunday Night Football.
That crowd is tough. That crowd is tough too.
Mhm.
Very tough. And I think we're talented enough to beat them, but I don't know. If there's going to be a few L's I'm going to poke in here to
Right.
make this thing realistic, it's going to probably come. One of them's going to come from them.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a really close game, similar to the Tampa Bay game that made me sick to my stomach.
So then we got Oakland for Thanksgiving. I believe we lost the last 2 Thanksgiving games, if I'm not mistaken. Oakland dealing with some turmoil with their coach. They look good offensive defense though, Lambo. They're giving us the dub.
Yeah, I'm gonna give us the dub.
That's gonna be a crazy game.
I ain't about to be pissed off on Thanksgiving again. We're getting a W.
2 historic franchises. I can't remember in the 30 plus years I've been following football that we played the Raiders on Thanksgiving. Now I know some of you guys are better Cowboys historians than I am. Can any of you guys remember the Cowboys and Raiders on Thanksgiving? That game, that's going to be 2 back-to-back ridiculous games.
Yeah.
And that almost kind of scares me.
Yeah, with the short week.
Right, short week. Oakland trying to prove something. We're going to be in a battle with the Chiefs. But I'll wait till I get my turn.
Rug speed will be something to worry about that game.
I mean, we got we go from 1 week dealing with Tyreek Hill to the next week dealing with Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, it's a lot of speed, man.
And I agree with him. The matchup is a lot tougher than people think. Their pass rushers are coming. Those guys are really stepping up. And by then, all of their corners should be healthy too. But I'll wait till my turn before I give my pick. Thanks, Jeff. We did lose to Matt McClain. All right, Lambo. So we go to New Orleans. Get a little bit of a mini bye week because we play on Thursday night.
Oh, Trayvon's picking Jameis off for sure. For sure.
So this is a Thursday night game.
W.
New Orleans.
I'm gonna give it W.
Okay.
Thomas will be playing probably and is gonna help them out some.
Yeah.
Kamara is gonna be a threat as always, but we got Dak. They got Jameis. I trust our quarterback to not make the mistakes that Jameis is probably gonna make.
Quick over under 2 interceptions for Jameis that game.
3.
Okay. What if Thomas is back? Does that change your opinion at all?
Nope. I feel like Trayvon Diggs will also match up really
That's gonna
good.
be a nice matchup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas is not a speed.
He's not a burner. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, guys, I must have blocked that game out because it was such an awful loss. I don't remember it. All right, Lambo. So now 4 of our next 5 games are against the division, and 2 of the 5 are against the Washington football team, who by this point in the season, they may have 2 as their quarterback.
You know, I think when we first did these, I split us with Washington.
Yep, this was the one you gave the L.
That must be their home at Washington then.
At Washington, yeah.
So I had us win at home and then win at home.
Yep.
But after watching, their defense ain't been the defense I expected this year.
They've been below middle of the pack.
I think we might get the broom out this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna sweep Washington. I'm gonna give us a win on New York and sweep them. So I'm gonna say 3 more wins in a row right here.
Hold on.
Sweep them.
Lambo moving through pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't give Washington a chance at all, huh?
It's gonna be. There's a good chance we split with them, but the defense ain't what I expected. Maybe it'll start to turn around. And even if they have two, it's not going to change my mind on that team at all.
And the way Antonio Gibson looks with that shin, he has a hairline fracture in his shin. When that DC weather starts to get cold, that hairline fracture is going to become bigger. He'll probably be shut down by Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
The Arizona game's interesting. We could be fighting for a number 1 seed at that point.
The undefeated Arizona Cardinals at this point, though. So it's going to be a big game.
Yeah. I think because I try to be realistic and fit a few L's in. I believe I might have had an L on this one at the beginning of the season.
No, actually,
I did.
Hold on, let me check.
For some reason, I was thinking I did.
Yep, you had the Cardinals win. You had the Cardinals winning this game.
I know, and a few people call me crazy. I remember.
I do remember that. Yeah,
I'm like,
me and you both had the Cardinals winning, and people say we were crazy.
Yeah, we had a lot of people say what, and now look at them. I'm just saying, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with the L. Okay. I think it'll be a really good game, just like the Chiefs game. But I think it'll be a close game. I'll give us the L there, and then this'll. Man, see, it gets tough right here because you don't know if we're playing for a home field advantage at this point. If we are, then obviously we're going to go all in on this last game. But originally I had a win on this. But if it's not going to affect where our seeding is or home field advantage or any of that.
Right, we should be, 13-3 at this point?
Then we're going to lose this game because we're probably going to take it easy. And it's been a long season. We had an extra game this season. I could see him taking it easy right here if we've got everything locked in.
Okay, but what about this? Remember last year when the Eagles kind of mailed it in?
Yeah.
At the last game of the year? You don't think that may happen again?
That's true. That is true. And they're probably gonna have a bad record at this point.
Yeah.
And we could probably beat them with Cooper Rush.
I think we could.
That's true.
It's at Philly, William. It's the last game of the year is at Philly.
You got to remember too, they got 3 first-round picks, and they're trying to
maximize all 3.
They're trying to maximize. They ain't making the playoffs. You're right. They're probably gonna be. If they did it last year, why would they not do it this year?
Yeah. So
looking at that's a good point. Keep the W there.
Cooper Rush versus who's their backup quarterback? Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah. So you're right, man. I didn't even really think about that, and the fact that they did that last year, and we could still be playing for number 1 seed at this point. What would our record be at this point? 5-1,
13-3,
6, 7, 8. Yeah, we could quite possibly be playing for a number 1 seed at this point.
Especially
still,
if we lost the Cardinals the week before, this game might become more important.
Yeah, throw a W up there.
And plus, we're playing at noon too. So if the Cardinals are playing at 3, we almost have to have a win.
So this would be a 14-3 season.
14-3.
That's a damn nice season.
Excuse the horrible handwriting. I'm left-handed, and I have to write with my right hand because I'm using the mouse.
Oh.
All right, so Lambeau got him with a 14-3 season.
Yeah, I might. That's a little bit of fan bias in there, maybe.
I mean, based off what we've seen, it's not really that much bias.
Yeah, that's true.
Dwayne Wright, thank you for joining. Saying we're going to beat KC.
But it will not surprise me if one of those teams that we feel like is a locked win ends up being a loss. It happens.
I have one.
It's the NFL.
And I know the people are going to go crazy when I put this up there, but I've been saying it. I'm usually right with these. I hope I'm not, but I usually am. Let me see if I can erase this without erasing everything. All right, so Lambeau has us 14-3 for the year. Up.
Uh-oh. Oh, you can probably just do edit undo a few times. Get rid of it.
I do it more than a few.
Just to get rid of the 14. Oh, yeah, all the W's.
Yep. All right. So, guys, I'll go through my list next. So, if you guys can stick with us for about 10 more minutes, we'll go through my wins and losses and see what we come up with. I do have a couple of different ones than Lambeau. I have a couple of surprising ones. So make sure you guys let me know what you think. So we start off first. We got the Vikings. Should be a very competitive game. Our weakness appears to be their strength. I think the Patriots kind of exposed us with the off tackle running, and that's what the Vikings love to do with Dalvin Cook. Their slot is deadly, and that's pretty much the biggest weakness in our defense. Their number 2 receiver is not bad either. Their defense is coming along. Got a bit of a revenge game in there with Everson Griffin coming back.
Xavier Woods,
I forgot about him playing safety. So their defense is pretty solid. And they also have Dalvin Tomlinson on the inside. So you're definitely going to see him matched up against Tyler Biadasz a lot. All that being said, it's still a W. If I can move my mouse over there. Still got the dub for this one. I had a W before. Got a W now. All right, next game, we got Denver Broncos. And a great point, William Coulter. Sunday Night Football. Cousins may have the worst primetime record of all quarterbacks of all time. So he's definitely going to lay an egg on this one. Yeah, you do have Michael Pierce also inside. Jeff saying that Raiders and Broncos game might be L's for us. I'm tempted on this one with Denver just because their secondary is so good and their pass rushers.
Yeah, I was in the back of my mind. That could be a trap game.
I don't think this one is the trap game now.
But then I got brave and said Dallas by 20.
Yeah. Now they have some advantages that could hurt us. They have super athletic Noah Fant at the tight end position. I still think athletic tight ends are our Achilles heel. Their offensive line isn't very good, though. I think we can blitz the hell out of them and cause some pressure. Teddy Bridgewater's not that mobile. Arm's not that strong. You can get him to throw off his back foot a couple times, make a couple mistakes.
It would really make me happy to see Parsons have a big game and us beat Patrick Surtain a few times.
Yep.
It'd make me feel good.
And good point, Eric Berger. Talking about Dak and his calf injury, calf strain. I'm assuming he's back by this game. If he misses any games at all.
I didn't think about that with the Vikings game though. If he's still little, I didn't really.
I think even Dak at 50%, we could still win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a calf. He'll probably won't be able to throw downfield as much, but they can wrap it. They can give him a shot, get him through the game, manage pain. And Eric Berger, if you want Parsons to have a big game, send him up the middle, 50% of his snaps. Now, Eric, weren't you the one that was campaigning to put him back at defensive end full time? I'm shocked to hear you say that. All right, so I give us the dub right here. Now, this one, in the preseason, I picked us to lose against the Falcons. And my reason for that is, number one, this is a revenge game. The Falcons versus Dan Quinn. Oh, sorry, Eric. My mistake. But yeah.
Really, he'll be back, won't he?
Really should be back by then. Yeah. But it's a revenge game. You got Diggs versus his old teammate in Calvin Ridley. So that should be a nice battle.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the golden boy Kyle Pitts, which is starting to kind of come into his own. I think that's going to be a major matchup problem for us. And then we got Cordarrelle Patterson, who has blossomed into the ultimate chess piece.
Yeah.
Play him at running back, run the ball, pass the ball, put him at all three receiver positions. I had this as a loss before. I think this is the one where we shoot. I think my screen froze. Maybe it doesn't want me to do it. I still think this is the one where we get caught with our pants down. Start smelling ourselves a little bit.
Dan Quinn gonna be pissed.
Their offense still has the ability to put up points. And I think this one might come down to special teams. Kadar Patterson. I don't like how Bones Fossil doesn't kick it in the back of the end zone. And if you do that too many times with Patterson, he's going to break one. Mendoza says he's going to get cursed. That's going to be a good matchup. Eric Berger had it as a tie. He's sticking with his tie. I think this is the one that kind of wakes everybody up to make us think, you know what? We're not the best thing since sliced bread. We gotta get back on track.
I bet you're gonna have this Falcons lost to the Falcons and come back with a win against the Chiefs right here.
Not so fast. No, seriously. I picked us losing to the Chiefs before. I'm tempted to go back-to-back L's right here. I'm really tempted to do it because I feel like this is going to be a great game. Talking about how we look, you talk about how the Chiefs look. The Chiefs has been kind of average this year. So coming up against a 7-2 Cowboys team that everybody's talking about, this will be a good statement game for them at home to say, you know what, we're still the class of the league.
Right. Yeah.
I want to change this to win so bad.
I know I did too.
I feel in my heart we're going to win this game.
I was doing the same thing, and I was just like, the other side of me was like, you got to throw some L's in because it's going to happen. There's going to be a couple L's. But I really do feel like we could win this.
But here's my thing. The Chiefs' problems have been they start off extremely slow and good teams get up on them, and then they come back. If they do that against us,
that might not work.
That's not going to work with our running game right now.
Yeah, ball control, clock control, wear that defense down. Their defense ain't good to begin with against the best offense in the NFL, which I think we have.
Yeah, you're talking me out of it, Lambo.
Start playing a little prevent in the second half and keeping Tyreek underneath.
Give us the W right here. I'm leaning to that L though, but I talked myself out of it because the Chiefs
looks like some boobs.
The Chiefs have not looked good in the. Why you make me do that? The Chiefs have not looked good in the first half of games, and I don't think they can make that comeback against us. All right, so now we go to Thanksgiving.
You can just drop a little thing from the middle of that W because we're gonna shit on the Raiders.
So now it's a but.
Yep.
No explanation needed. We've lost 2 years in a row. We're not doing it 3 years in a row. This is a new team. We're getting that dub for this one. Yeah, I've been moving pretty quick, Charlie. We go back to New Orleans. Okay. Let me make this real quick. We're at 1:44. Didn't plan on being this long, but good conversation to lead you that way. And William, good point. All the good teams we play are on the road. That could make a difference.
Yeah.
So New Orleans, we're going at New Orleans. I just think we're the better team. Their defense is solid. That could be a good chess match game for Dak against that line, but I think we're better. I think we're better offense, defense, special teams. We have the ability to shut down their best players. By that point in time, I think Micah will finally have the light switch come on, and you have a guy like Kamara coming up. We'll probably have D-Law back in by this time too, and we should have a Gallimore who's kind of played himself back into shape. So our D-line may look a lot better than it's already looked. And by then, we'll probably have implemented Cox into the team as well. So I think this one is going to be a W. And I I may have to pull a Lambo on this one like he did before. I just don't see us losing in the division at this point. I think Gibson has maybe 2 more weeks before they shut him down. I don't care what they do at quarterback. It doesn't
That's gonna
matter.
piss me off for fantasy. Oh,
Yeah.
I have Gibson in 2 leagues.
Yep.
2.
I have him in like 4. I think Diggs has a little bit of payback with McLaurin after last year's game. So that's going to kind of neutralize their best offensive player. So I think we come back and beat them here. Their defense has not stepped up. I don't see them coming to Dallas on prime time and win. So I give us a W. Now this Giants game. This one is very interesting to me because
Tony's really worries me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The only thing about the Giants, you never know if all their receivers are going to be healthy.
Yep.
If I knew for a fact that they would have Golladay, Shepard, Tony, and Slayton, I don't even care about Barkley because he's just a non-factor to me anyway. But if I knew they had their full complement of receivers, this one would be a lot closer in my mind than most people would think. But without knowing that and knowing their history, I got to give us the W on this one. So I think we sweep them.
I think we've scared Daniel Jones from running the ball at all because when he came back, I think he had like 3 attempts for like 4 yards or something.
Right.
And before that, he was averaging like a pretty decent amount. I think that we done scared him from running.
And I don't think they'll take the play calling away from Jason Garrett, so that always works in our advantage.
Yeah.
So this one will be a big game. At home, Arizona. I picked the Cardinals at first. I'm kind of leaning like that Chiefs game. This is the one where you kind of show that, hey, I'm the class of the league. Everybody has to take notice. I think we match up well against them. Diggs shut down Hopkins last year, so I think that'll be interesting. I think our corners, by that time we have Boss Man Fat. So I think our corner rotation will be better, able to handle their receivers, even though AJ Green's playing great.
Yeah.
Now, Eric Berg, I don't agree with you on this one.
Rondell is going to be kind of like I think, a guy that makes some impact in that game.
Now, I agree they're running curls, but the reason they're running curls is because people are terrified of Rondell Moore's speed. They're terrified of Andy Isabella's speed, and they're terrified of Christian Kirk's speed. So when those guys line up wide, teams are playing off, and they're just taking what the defense gives them. So they are running curls, but it's not because that's all they can run. And then they got Zach Ertz, too. That's something else we got to consider. And we're very, very familiar with Zach Ertz, what he's done to us in the past. Oh, okay. Eric's talking about the Giants. Okay, I give it to you on that one. So I had this one as a loss. I think I have to think I'll give it a loss again. I think I'll stick with it. Their receivers are talented. They got a tight end. They have a pass catching running back. Our defenses look great, but Kyler Murray's just an alien. Hopefully we can get to him. That guy has a strong arm, fast.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good offensive game. Their defense has gotten a lot of credit, but I don't think they're as great as people say they are. All right, last pick, Philadelphia Eagles. At this point, kind of like I said with Lambeau, we just lost to the Cardinals. Only one team gets a bye week. So at this point, we might be having to play to fight for their bye week to get it back from the Cardinals. Philly has shut the team down in years past, trying to get those draft picks. I can see the same thing happening again. If I can find my mouse. So I'm giving us the W on this one. So I also have us at 14-3. All right, guys. So Lambeau and I
Yeah,
both have
14 and 3.
14-3. Preseason, we had them at 1, 2, 3. We had them at 12-5. So we've changed on 2 games.
The confidence, the way these young guys have been able to step up is really what's kind of led me here, because we're getting healthier as we go.
Yep.
And we're killing it, man. We're still out there with all these young guys out there. Yeah.
All right. So I think that's pretty much all we got for the show. Thank you guys for watching, sticking with us for almost 2 hours. It's crazy. This has been one of our longest shows, and it's our show in the bye week.
I know, right? Seemed like there was a lot. There's a lot to talk about.
I know. And once again, thank you guys. You really fueled the show. Great questions, great comments. Once again, Cowboys Zone wouldn't be where we are without you guys. So thank you for all your support. Lambeau, I see your computer starting to freeze up, so it looks like your computer's about to go out.
Yeah, I'm on 2%.
All right. So before your computer goes out, let the people know where they can find you.
Y'all can find me at Cowboys Y'all on every social media platform. But most of all, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, even if you don't really get on YouTube often. Just it helps. Trying to get to 1,000 at 625 right now. Kind of been hovering around there for this past 6 months or so. So yeah, subscribe on YouTube. Help me out. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. You guys can find me Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Love City Cowboys. Like Lambeau said, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. I'm hanging around the 210, so I'm still trying to get up there. Find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Cowboy Zone. And also tune in on Saturdays at 8 o'clock for Keeping Up with the Joneses. We're not doing a show this week because it's a bye week, but we will be coming back on October 30th for a show. So if you guys are free, tune in. It's us with Dallas Cowboys Uncensored, Rika and Charlie. And great show, very entertaining, very knowledgeable. Always good conversation. But like I said before, every Wednesday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Be sure to tune in, like, share, subscribe, support the nation, help us keep the Cowboy Zone growing. Lambeau, anything else? I think we may have lost Lambeau.
No, man.
Okay.
Sucks that we're in a bye week. I hate bye weeks. If y'all can see me, hey, y'all have a good one. See y'all later.
All right, Lambeau. I'm Marcus. This is Lambeau, and we are out. You guys have a good night. Thank you for watching.